Why did Russia invade Ukraine and not other countries that broke away from the Soviet Union? From early on, some of the back channels have reported that there is a bioweapons facility in Ukraine where a lot of bad stuff is going on. First, let's explain why biological agents are studied for things other than improving health. Biological warfare is what concerns many. It's the use of biological agents such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, or toxins to intentionally harm or kill humans, animals, or plants. These biological agents can cause widespread disease, death, and disruption, making them potent weapons. Biological warfare is banned under various international treaties, including the Biological Weapons Convention, due to its potential for mass casualties and severe humanitarian impact. There are 4 international levels of biological or biosafety laboratories. They are classified on the level of containment and safety measures required to handle the pathogens being studied. BSL-1 is for work with well-characterized agents not known to cause disease in healthy humans, such as non-pathogenic strains of E. coli and Bacillus subtilis. No special containment equipment is required when handling Level 1 biohazards. Then there's BSL-2, which is working with biologicals that pose moderate hazards to personnel and the environment. Examples include Staphylococcus aureus, Salmonella spp, hepatitis B, and HIV. Lab access is limited and used only with personal protective equipment such as lab coats and gloves, and biosafety cabinets for procedures that may generate aerosols. Next, BSL-3. These laboratories work with indigenous or exotic agents that may cause serious or potentially lethal disease through inhalation. Notice the language indigenous or exotic. We're getting into Dr. Mengele stuff here. Some of the pathogens in a Level 3 lab are Mycobacterium tuberculosis, Yersinia pestis, and SARS-CoV-2, the virus that causes COVID-19. These facilities include controlled access, specialized ventilation systems to prevent airborne transmission, and the use of personal protection equipment including respirators and biosafety cabinets. The most restrictive biological research is done in a BSL-4 laboratory, which works with dangerous and exotic agents that pose a high risk of aerosol-transmitted laboratory infections and life-threatening diseases, for which there are no available vaccines or treatments. Please note that in spite of the fact that people smothered under masks for years now, the SARS-CoV-2 virus is not at a high risk of aerosol transmission by virtue of the fact that the COVID-19 virus requires BSL-3 protections. Pathogens in BSL-4 are viruses such as the Ebola virus, the Marburg virus, the Lassa fever virus, and the variola or smallpox virus. These are maximum containment facilities with multiple containment barriers, full-body, air-supplied pressure suits, and highly specialized ventilation and waste management systems. There are nearly 60 Biosafety Level 4, or BSL-4, laboratories in operation, under construction, or planned in 23 different countries. The highest concentration of Level 4 biosafety labs is in Europe, with 25 labs, followed by North America with 14, Asia with 13, Australia with 4, and Africa with 3. I found it quite odd that South America has no Level 4 labs. My first question was that if biological warfare is banned according to the Biological Weapons Convention, why are there so many laboratories across the world? Oh wait, the NIH lifted the ban on biological warfare under Barack Obama, one day before Anthony Fauci made a speech saying that Trump will face a biological threat during his presidency. Enter the Odessa BSL-3 laboratory in Ukraine, which is involved in research related to infectious diseases, including COVID-19. The Cooperative Biological Engagement Program, or CBEP, is a U.S. Department of Defense initiative that has helped establish and upgrade several laboratories, including the BSL-3 lab in Odessa, to study dangerous pathogens like COVID-19 and other infectious diseases. Public documents show that the U.S. Department of Defense has spent millions funding and operating at least 13 biological labs in Ukraine. This has been public knowledge for years. Remember, biological warfare is banned under various international treaties, so what are we doing running biological labs anywhere? The lab was part of the Soviet Union's secret bioweapons program, so they likely know what was in that lab before it was taken over by Ukraine. The United States came in and helped Ukraine update and run the facility. Some alleged conspiracy theorists believe that the Odessa biolab is a cover-up for a deeper secret of child trafficking and organ harvesting. The Black Sea port, where the biolab is located, is notorious for criminal gangs and black markets, and there have been several break-ins to facilities. We've seen the container ship unexplained detainments around the world. Remember, the California ports were allegedly backed up and no ships were coming in? Nothing is as it seems. The transportation of trafficking victims on container ships has become accepted by most since the release of the movie, The Sound of Freedom. It was a blockbuster, true story of child trafficking. So let's look at the Port of Odessa, located on the northwestern shore of the Black Sea in Ukraine. It is one of the largest and most significant ports in the Black Sea region. The port has a long history dating back to the early 19th century. It has been a critical hub for trade and commerce for Ukraine and the surrounding region. It is a major economic engine for Ukraine, facilitating the export and import of goods. The port handles a significant portion of Ukraine's maritime trade. It is well equipped with modern facilities, including container terminals, bulk cargo terminals, and oil terminals. It has extensive warehousing and logistics infrastructure to support various types of cargo. I wonder who helped them with that. The Port of Odessa is well connected by rail and road, linking it to the rest of Ukraine and neighboring countries. This connectivity is crucial for the efficient movement of goods to Europe, Africa, and China. In addition to cargo operations, the port also serves as a point of departure and arrival for passenger ferries and cruise ships, making it an important node for transport to various destinations across the Black Sea, such as Turkey, Bulgaria, and Romania. Given its strategic and economic importance, the port is also a focal point for security measures, including customs and border control to manage the flow of goods and people. Must be a lucrative job. Overall, the Port of Odessa is a vital maritime hub that plays a crucial role in Ukraine's economy and its connectivity to global trade networks. In this world where you can't believe anything you hear, I always look at the possibility of a conspiracy theory. If it is possible, then I put in the pieces of the puzzle that support the theory. In this case, you have a major container shipping port, with access to 3 continents in a bad neighborhood with a bioweapons lab. It has storage facilities for containers and well-connected ferries and trains out of the area. Well, I have to say that not only is human trafficking possible, but it's an optimal environment. Maybe, just maybe, there's a reason that Putin has attacked Ukraine. There's something the elite don't like about him because every conspiracy of the left is always linked to Russia, not China, who has been a bigger threat according to every recent president besides Biden. He does business with them. Just to clarify, the lab was part of the Soviet Union's secret bioweapons program, so they likely know what was in that lab before it was taken over by Ukraine. Also, the Black Sea port where it's located is notorious for criminal gangs and black markets, and there have been several break-ins to facilities. There are many who believe that the Odessa biolab is a cover-up for a deeper secret of child trafficking and organ harvesting. We've seen the container ship unexplained detainments and have heard rumors that children were being transported on them. Well, maybe we shouldn't be funding the Odessa lab or any other biological lab, because in March 2024, Russia hit the port city of Odessa, Ukraine, with a double-tap military strike. Later on June 24, 2024, Russia launched 2 missiles directly at the bioweapons lab. The U.S. intercepted one and the other caused damage to the Odessa BSL-3 lab. Russian missile and drone strikes have targeted various infrastructure in Odessa. and there have been reports of damage to facilities, including laboratories in the region. The specific extent of the damage to the BSL-3 lab itself is not detailed, but the attacks have affected the city broadly, impacting numerous buildings and infrastructure components. So here is the United States, giving Ukraine billions of dollars for the Odessa BSL-3 lab in Ukraine, which is just 220 miles from the Russian border. In fact, it wouldn't exist without the US. How would Americans feel if Russia erected and operated a Level 3 biological lab in Cuba? We wouldn't be too happy about it, would we? Stay tuned for more on this one. Just remember, don't let the energy vampires suck your energy from you. There's a lot going on, and from what I'm seeing, nothing is as it seems. Everything is a psyop, and every move is planned 5 moves in advance. So the wars of today may end up being what saves the world, months down the road. Just like a chess game.